So now we are going to see how to control a device using Wi-Fi with the help of NodeMCU ESP8266 board. So before going into the program, first we will see the working of the whole experiment. So first of all, we need to program the NodeMCU using the Wi-Fi device control program. So for that you have opened the Wi-Fi device control code, then we are giving upload button. We are pressing on the upload button. So here the NodeMCU is connected to COM15. Your board name is NodeMCU 1.0 ESP12E. So now you can see that uploading is over. Then you can click on the serial monitor. Ensure that the baud rate is 115200 baud. Then you can reset the NodeMCU by clicking on the reset button. So it will show connecting to my access point. So once it is connected, it will show Wi-Fi connected and it will display the IP address. So currently the IP address is 192.168.207.137. So after displaying it, it will show a message that the web server present inside the NodeMCU has been started. So now in order to check whether the web server is working or not, we need to go to the Chrome web browser or any other web browser. So before typing the IP address of the web server which is working on NodeMCU, you need to verify one important thing. You need to verify that your client, that is your laptop, is connected to the same hotspot. So you need to check that your client, that is your laptop, as well as your NodeMCU web server, both should be connected to the same hotspot. Otherwise, if you are typing the IP address of the web server in the client, you will not be able to access the server, because if you want to access a server from a client, both the client and server should be in the same IP address or in the same subnet. If it is not in same subnet, for example, web server, your NodeMCU is connected to one hotspot, and if your laptop is connected to another hotspot, you will not be able to have a connection between the server and the client through the Wi-Fi. So if you want to access like this, before typing the IP address in the web browser, you need to check whether both your client and server is connected to the same hotspot. So here you can see that my client is connected to my hotspot and the NodeMCU is also connected to the same hotspot. So you will be able to access the server through the client, that is my laptop. So for checking whether the web server is working or not, you can type the IP address of the board what it was displayed just before. So I am typing 192.168.207.137 followed by command for LED on, that is /LED equal to on. Press enter. When you are pressing enter, from the web server will read this command sent by the client, or this is known as a client request. So the web server will read this request from the client. Here client means it is my laptop. So the web server present or running in the NodeMCU will read the request from the client, that is nothing but this URL. After reading that, it will check whether /LED equal to on command is present in this request. If /LED equal to on is present in this request, then it will send back response to the client. So whatever you are seeing in the web page is the response given by the server to the client. Client is your laptop. So once the server identified that command /LED equal to on is there, it will send back the response to the client as LED is now on. So if /LED equal to on is there, it will display on. If /LED equal to off is there, then it will display off. That also we can check by giving, instead of on, I am giving now off. So now you can see that LED is now off. So why? Because the command I have given is /LED equal to off. So based on this command, the response will be given as on or off. And in both the cases, two buttons also will be displayed. One button will be having text as turn on, and other button will be having text as turn off. So when you are pressing the turn on button, what is happening? The same command what you have given before, that is IP address followed by /LED equal to on, is sent as request from the client to the server. So the server will read it, and since this is a command /LED on, LED status will be shown as on. Similarly, when you are pressing turn off button, what will be sent? /LED equal to off command will be sent from the client to the server. So the server will read it, and server will check whether LED on or off is there. Since you have pressed turn off, LED off will be there, so LED will be off. So when you are pressing turn on button, or when you are typing this command here, same thing will be happening. LED is now on will be shown, as well as the LED on board the NodeMCU will be on. Similarly, when you are pressing turn off button, or you are typing IP address bar LED equal to off, the LED on board the NodeMCU will be switched off. So whenever the LED or the device can be switched on or off using this button, or by typing the command directly in the web browser. So whenever you are pressing button, the same thing is happening. When you are pressing turn on button, the command is sent from the client to the server. That means when you are pressing this command is automatically given to the server. Similarly, when you are pressing turn off button, the turn off command will be sent through the client to a server, and server will read the request from the client. It will check whether the command is /LED equal to on or off is there. If LED is on, if that command is there, onboard LED present in the NodeMCU will be switched on. Or if the command is /LED off is there, then onboard LED present in the NodeMCU will be switched off. This is how Wi-Fi based device control is working in NodeMCU. So this is a Arduino code or ESP code for Wi-Fi based device control. So first of all, we are declaring a variable known as SSID, and here in this space you need to give the Wi-Fi SSID, and password also you should give here. Then you are creating a object for Wi-Fi web server, and here server bracket 80 means 80 is the port number for web server. Then you are initializing LED pin as 2, because we are going to use the built-in LED of ESP8266 NodeMCU as a device that is to be controlled. In the setup function, we are initializing the serial port with 115200 baud rate. We are configuring the LED pin as output direction. Then you are initializing the LED pin as low. That means by default we are making the LED pin as low. In the NodeMCU, when you are writing low, the NodeMCU pin number 2 or GPIO2 will be on. That means the LED will be on when you are writing low. That you need to keep in mind. Whenever you are writing low, the LED on board NodeMCU will be on, because the cathode of the NodeMCU is connected to the GPIO2, and anode it is connected to VCC or 3.3 volt. So when you are writing 0 in digital IO or GPIO pin 2, then the LED will be on. So when you are writing low, LED will be actually on. So after that it will display a message connecting to followed by the SSID name. Then you are using a function known as Wi-Fi.begin. It is same as serial.begin function. Only difference is that in serial.begin you are initializing the serial port. Wi-Fi.begin we are initializing the Wi-Fi with the SSID and password which I have already given. Then after that we are using a function known as Wi-Fi.status. Wi-Fi.status will return a value known as WL_connected if the connection between the NodeMCU and the Wi-Fi hotspot is successfully established. If the connection between NodeMCU and the Wi-Fi hotspot is not established, it will be sending other value. So once the Wi-Fi status is connected, this function, that is Wi-Fi.status, will return this value WL_connected. So if the status returned by Wi-Fi.status is not equal to WL_connected, that means the Wi-Fi connectivity between NodeMCU and the hotspot is not established. So it will keep on printing this dot until the connectivity is established. When both are equal, that means the connectivity is established, so it will come out of this while loop. So once the connection is established, it will print Wi-Fi connected, then it will print IP address followed by the IP address of the NodeMCU. So for getting the IP address of the NodeMCU, we are using a function known as Wi-Fi.localIP. So once the Wi-Fi connectivity is established, from the hotspot, the NodeMCU will be assigned a particular IP address that will be displayed using Wi-Fi.localIP, and that function, that IP address, is getting displayed in the serial monitor using serial.println. Then we are beginning the Wi-Fi web server inside the NodeMCU using server.begin function. Once the connectivity is once the server has been successfully started, it will print server started. So that is, with that the setup function is over. So next we will start with the void loop. Inside the void loop, first we are trying to check whether the client is connected or not. For checking the client is connected to a server, we are using a function known as server.available. If the client is connected to a server, the server.available will return a value of type Wi-Fi client. That is why we are storing that value to a client object of type Wi-Fi client. And if the value of the client is 1, that means a client is connected to a server. So you will come out of this loop and you will print new client. After printing that, you are waiting until the client is sending some data to the server. So for doing that, you are using a function known as client.available. Previously server.available is used to check whether client is connected to a server, and client.available is used to check whether client is sending some data or not. So if it is not sending some data, it will keep on waiting here. If it is sending some data, it will come out of this loop. Once the server has identified that client has sent some data, it need to read the request sent from the client. That is done by using client.readStringUntil. So client.readStringUntil will read the request sent by the client until this /r or enter is pressed. So how are you going to control the Wi-Fi web server? You will take the web server, or you will be opening a Chrome web page. Inside that you will be giving the command. That command will be read by the server. Based on the command, LED connected to the server will be switched on or switched off. So for that, the server should read the data sent from the client. That is done using client.readStringUntil /r, and the read string will be stored onto a string variable known as request. And the next step, that read value is printed, then client is flushed. So once the request from the client is read, then the client is cleared. Then in the next step, what it is being done is the read data is analyzed to identify whether the command is present inside the client request or not. If there is a command for switching on the device, then the corresponding LED will be switched on. If there is a command for switching off the LED, then the corresponding LED will be switched off. That is how the device control is working. So for that we are using a function known as request.indexOf. IndexOf function is used to check whether a particular string is present in the actual string. So here we are checking whether /LED equal to on. This string is present in the string which is stored in request. Right? We have already stored the value or the string sent by the client and store it in a string variable known as request. So inside this request string, we are checking whether this command is there or not. If that command is there, then it will return a value which is not equal to -1. If this value is not present in the string, it will be returning a value -1. If this string is present in the string, it will be sending a value 1. So when the return value of this function is not equal to -1 means this string is present in the request string. So when this string is present in the request string, we need to switch on the LED because the command is /LED equal to on. So for switching on the LED, you are using digital write LED pin high. Similarly, you need to switch off the LED if the string present in the request string is /LED equal to off. So if request.indexOf /LED equal to off not equal to -1 means in the request string this string is available. So if this string is available, we need to switch off the LED. For that we are using digital write LED pin low. Then once the LED is controlled, we need to send back the response to the client. Client was sending a request to the web server. The web server should give the response back to the client so that I will get a message displayed in the web page. So for that, for displaying something in the web page, it should be in an HTML format. So HTML format means whatever characters you need to display in the web page, you should pack it as an HTML page, then you should send it. So for that we are using this format. So first of all, when you are opening an HTML page, you can see that it will be written HTTP 1.1.200 OK, then content type text bar HTML, then HTML doc type will be shown as HTML, followed by HTML tag will be there, HTML body will be there, right? So whatever HTML file you are opening, this will be the format. HTML 200 OK, then content type text bar HTML, then document type HTML, then HTML tag followed by the body. Inside the body of the HTML, you are going to write the actual data that is to be printed there, right? And each string what you are shown here is sent to the client using client.println. If you are using serial.println, this will be sent to the serial port, but I need to send this as response to the client, so I am using client.println. And what is the actual body? Actual body is once the LED has been switched on, you need to show LED is now followed by on or off. When should the LED be on? When the /LED equal to on command is sent. When /LED equal to on command is sent, you are using digital write LED pin as high, right? So when digital write LED pin is high, you need to display it as LED is now on. So for doing that, I am using if digital read LED pin. I am reading the status of the LED pin. If the LED pin status is high, then I will print client.print on. That means in the web page it will be displayed LED is now on. and if LED pin is low, instead of printing on, it will be printing off. So if the LED pin is low, that means the pin is off, so it will print LED is now off. So that is the first message you need to print there, followed by you need to create two buttons. So for creating a button, this is the HTML format for creating a button. Button tag, this is known as a button tag, that is less than, then button, that is a button tag. Then on click location dot href slash LED equal to on. On click location dot href LED equal to on. That means when you are clicking on the button in the web page, the whatever previous IP address was there, that will be appended with this command. So in the web page, whatever IP address was there, that will be updated with the LED on command. Then this is a style, width and height, and inside the button you are writing the text as turn on. Then slash button is the HTML tag for button. So similarly you are writing one more button tag, on click href slash LED off. That means href LED off is used for displaying slash LED off in the web page. Then turn off means it will show the text in the button as turn off, then followed by slash button end button tag. So then so by this the body of the HTML page is over. So you are using end body tag by slash body, and you are closing the HTML tag by slash HTML. So this is a general format of an HTML where it will be printing LED is now on or off, then followed by two buttons. When you are clicking on the first button, you will be sending slash LED equal to on in the web page along with the IP address. When you are clicking on the second button, you will be sending IP address slash LED equal to off. So when LED equal to on is sent in the web page, what will happen? The server will read that string sent by the client. Then based on LED on, LED will be high, or LED off, LED will be low. So by using the button, we are doing the same thing as you are typing in the web page, and you are sending the command. Then finally the client is disconnected. So when you are pressing the LED button, you are sending actually the command that is slash LED equal to on, and on getting this LED equal to on command from the client, the server will process it, and if LED on is there, LED will be on. Otherwise, when you are pressing the second button, it will be sending the second command, that is slash LED equal to off, and when the server identifies that slash LED equal to off is there, then LED will be off. So this is how the Wi-Fi web server is working. First of all, search for MIT App Inventor 2 in Chrome. So you will be getting a page for MIT App Inventor. Click on that. Then the page will be looking like this. Here you can see a button for create apps. Click on that create apps button. So automatically it will be redirected to MIT App Inventor platform. So you can see ai2.appinventor.mit.edu. So this is the actual link for MIT App Inventor 2. So it will show some message like this. You can click on continue for time being. So since I was using it before, you are getting a screen like this, but since you are a new user, you can click on projects, then click on start new project. Here you are asked to give some name, so I am giving a name, say Wi-Fi device control. I am giving a name Wi-Fi device control. Then you can keep the toolkit as expert itself. Theme by default, some theme will be there, that can be selected. So then give OK. So now your new project window will be opened. So you can see one blank screen, that is mobile phone emulator screen you will be getting. So here you can see on the left hand side, you can see user interface tab is there. All the components required for user interface like button, checkbox, date picker, etc. is given. Then if you are clicking on that, the other toolboxes are also available. Second toolbox is layout. So here you can see the arrangements, different kinds of arrangements, that is horizontal arrangement, table arrangement, vertical arrangement. That means if you are taking horizontal arrangement, the components can be arranged horizontally in the screen. If you are taking vertical arrangement, the components can be kept vertically in the screen, whatever components you are selecting. Then like that you are having so many other toolboxes here, like connectivity, sensors, storage, etc. When you are clicking sensors, you can see almost all the sensors available in the phone. You will be able to program all the sensors. On the right hand side, you can see the properties window. So whichever block you are clicking, say if I am clicking on button, the button properties will be coming once it is dragged and dropped onto the screen, right? Otherwise, by default, the properties is shown for the properties for screen 1, because this is a screen 1. So the properties for screen 1 is shown here, like alignment, background color, etc. So whichever component you are selecting and you are adding into the project, all the components will be coming here. You can see all components. So now only one component is there, screen 1. Then whenever you are keep on adding the components, those components will be listed here, and each component you can click on that component and corresponding properties will be shown here, right? So this is about an introduction to this MIT App Inventor home screen, and this is known as a designer view, right? Designer view is where you are creating the app layout, that is the look and feel of the app. Then the next view is known as the blocks view. So when you are clicking on these blocks on the right hand side, it will go to the block view. That means you can create your program in the form of a blocks. That we will see how it is done. So generally for an App Inventor platform, you are having designer view. This is a designer view, and the second screen is known as blocks view. This is a blocks view. So first of all, we need to go to designer view. You are going to design the app layout. So as a first step, you can click on this user interface so that the whole components are visible here. Then whenever you are starting an app, you should start with the layout. So click on layout, and for time being I am going to use horizontal arrangement in the layout. So for adding that, you can simply drag and drop it to the screen 1. So you can see that horizontal arrangement has been added here. It has also been displayed under all components. And now since the horizontal arrangement is selected, properties are shown for the horizontal arrangement. So you can see horizontal arrangement, vertical arrangement. These are for the arrangement for this horizontal arrangement itself. Then height, width, image, etc. So first of all, I am going to change the width of this horizontal arrangement. I am going to expand this horizontal arrangement throughout the width of this screen. So for that, click on this width, then select fill parent. Fill parent means parent is your screen 1. So fill parent means the width of the horizontal arrangement will be made same as that of the width of the screen, right? So that the horizontal arrangement will occupy the width of the whole screen. So we are giving fill parent, give OK. So now you can see that it has been accommodated completely. Then inside this, I am going to add one label, because for each app you should have a label. What is this app for? So for that, you can deselect this layout, then click on user interface. There you can see label. drag and drop this label inside to the horizontal arrangement. So you can see that the label is here. So first of all, I am going to make this label as label font as bold, and the size I am going to change it to 20, and the width again I am going to give fill parent, so that the text or the label also will be taking the width of the parent, that is screen width. That means the width of the label will be same as the width of the screen one. Then I am giving OK. Similarly, text that is to be displayed also I am going to change. My text is say Wi-Fi device control. That is what I am going to give the label for my app, Wi-Fi device control. So it has, I have made it as bold, as I have changed the text to Wi-Fi device control. So now what should I do? I need to bring this as a central aligned manner. So how will I do that? Click on this alignment, text alignment, click on this and give center. So now you can see that the whole text has been aligned to the center of the screen one. So the first step is over. So similarly, I am going to add one more layout, horizontal arrangement. So click on layout, then drag and drop the next horizontal arrangement, right? Same thing as I have done. Click on width, click on width, fill parent, give OK. So second horizontal arrangement is there. So here I am going to add a text box, because for controlling a device I need to enter the IP address of the NodeMCU. So for entering the IP address I need to have a text box. So where will I get the text box? Again from the user interface. Click on user interface, then here you can see, when you are coming down you can see the text box. Drag and drop it here. Then near to that itself I am going to add one more button showing that it will be used for setting the IP address. So I will type the IP address in the text box, and when I am clicking on that set IP address, whatever IP address I have typed here will be stored onto a variable. So I will type an IP address here, then when I am pressing the set IP address button, this IP address should be stored onto a variable. So for that I am going to add one button here. Where is the button here? It is again available in user interface. Drag and drop it near to this. Don't drag it in between, so it will go above the text box. I need to place it inside the second horizontal arrangement itself. So keep it near to the text box, release it. So you can see that the button has came near to the text box. Then what should I do? In the text box, in the button, I need to change the name of the button. So for that you can click on this button and button properties will be shown. Come down here, text for button 1 is shown there. You can change it to set IP address. Set IP address. So you can see that name of the button has been changed. And now I can align both the text box and the button towards central alignment. How will I do that? Click on the horizontal arrangement, click on horizontal arrangement, then click on align horizontal, click center. Don't click on the button and give align horizontal to center. Click on the horizontal arrangement, then select the align horizontal to center. Right. And if you want to change the background of this horizontal arrangement, that also I can change. But if I am changing that, the text box and the background will not be easily identifiable. So I am not doing that. Then whatever component you are adding, it should have the meaningful name always. Now the text box what you have added is having one name, text box 1. Button is having name button 1. We cannot identify what is the use of that. Whatever component you are adding, you need to rename it with a meaningful name. How will I do that? So I am clicking on text box 1 under the horizontal arrangement. I am clicking on that. Then scroll down, you can see the rename button. Click on that rename button. I am renaming it to text box underscore IP address. Text box underscore IP address, so that I can identify that this text box is for entering the IP address. So click OK. So now it has been renamed to text box underscore IP address. Similarly, I need to rename the button 1 also. So click on button 1, click on rename, and what is my name? I am going to give button underscore set IP address. Button underscore set IP address. Click OK. So now it has been changed to button underscore set IP address. So I can easily identify that this button is used for setting the IP address, right? So this step is also over. Then similarly, I need to add 2 more buttons, that is for device on and for device off. So how will I do that? Again, go to layout, add 1 more horizontal arrangement, then similarly click on width, give fill parent, give OK. Then go to user interface, drag and drop 1 button, similarly drag and drop 1 more button near to it. Then you need to align both these to center alignment. So click on horizontal arrangement 3, align horizontal, make it center aligned. So both the buttons will be aligned to a center. Similarly, button 1, I need to rename it as on. So click on button 1, click on rename. So it will be button underscore on. So it is an on button for switching on the device. Similarly, click on second button, click on rename. This is button underscore off. Give OK. So 2 buttons I have added. Now I need to change the text also. So click on button on, scroll down, change the text to on. Similarly, click on off button, button off, scroll down, change the text to off. So both the buttons text also has been changed. Now I can change the horizontal arrangement back color so that button will be easily visible. So click on horizontal arrangement. You can click on in the component window or here, both will be same. So you can click on here. Background color I am giving it as white. So now you can see that background color is gray. When I am changing it to white, you can see that the background of the horizontal arrangement has been made as white. So the button is easily visible, right? So this is a basic layout of your app. Next, we need to add web viewer to the app, because through the web viewer only I will be able to send a particular command through the web browser as a URL to the web internet. So whenever you are pressing the on button, I need to send a particular command like http:// IP address followed by LED space on. Similarly, when you are pressing off button, I need to send the same command with the /LED equal to off as URL through the web browser. So for that you need to have a web viewer. So that web viewer is also present in the user interface. You can scroll down, you can see in the bottom, drag and drop it here, right? So you can see inside the components, inside all components, web viewer have been added. So through the web viewer you are able to send a command as a URL through the internet. So next component we need to add is a notifier. Why we need to add a notifier means, what was the steps that need to be followed? First of all, you need to enter the IP address, then you should press the set IP address button, then the IP address typed here will be stored onto a variable, right? And if that IP address is present in the variable, then only you can check whether the IP address is there. If IP address is there, then only you should be able to send the commands. Without storing the IP address, the command should not be sent, right? So if you are pressing the button on button or off button without entering or without storing the IP address, I should get a message displayed on the app that you should enter the IP address before pressing on or off button. So in order to have that notifier or notification in the app, you are going to add notifier component. So this is a notifier component, so you can drag and drop it to this, right? So you can see both the notifier and the web viewer will be present in all components, and the notifier, since it is a non-visible component, it will be automatically placed below the app. So this is how you are designing the app layout. So app layout consists of all these things. In addition to these components, there is one more invisible component known as notifier. So next we need to move forward and write the blocks required for this app. Now we are going to design the functionality of this app. So for that we need to move on to blocks view. So in the right hand side of the MIT App Inventor, you can see one blocks button. Click on that blocks button, so it will move on to the blocks view. Initially, since none of the functionalities are there, it will be opened up as a blank screen. So first what we are going to do, when I have designed the app, I have told that first of all you need to enter the IP address of the NodeMCU to which you need to have a control, and on that NodeMCU your devices will be connected. So for that you need to store the IP address. So the IP address will be entered through a text box which is shown in this designer, and when you are clicking on the set IP address button, this IP address whatever you have entered should be stored onto a variable. So that is the first step. So you need to create a variable and initialize it. That is the first step. So click on blocks, and on the left hand side you can see so many blocks related to the components whatever you have added, it is there. There are some built-in blocks like control, logic, math, text, etc. Then there are the components what you have designed, and each of the components, when you are clicking on, say for example when you are clicking on web 1, these are the blocks associated with that button or web 1, right? So each of the blocks, whenever you are clicking on that, corresponding blocks will be visible. So my first step is I need to initialize a global variable for storing the IP address. So for that I need to click on variables built-in component. Click on variables. From that you can see there are some 4 or 5 blocks are there. In this set you can drag and drop the first one, initialize global 2. So drag and drop this to your workspace or the viewer. You can see it here. So initialize global, then you should give the variable name. So for time being I am going to give the variable name as, you can click on that, and I am going to give the variable name as IP address. So IP address is my variable name. So initialize global variable IP address to some value. That value, how will I get that value, initial value? For that you can click on text. Click on text, you can drag and drop the first one, right? It is a string, a text string. Drag and drop it. You drag and drop it inside this block. So one yellow highlighting is coming. So when it is highlighted, you can identify that it can be kept here. So drag and drop it here, leave it. So these two has been merged together. So when you are merging it together, you can see that you are going to initialize the IP address variable to a space or nothing. So by using this block you are initializing the variable known as IP address to say nothing. That means you are initializing this variable, right? Next step is I need to draw the block for the IP address set button. So in the designer view, when you are clicking on the designer view, you can see there is a button, no, set IP address. So when I am clicking on this set IP address button, what should happen? Whatever value it is stored in this text box should be stored onto the global variable that I have created now. That is my IP address variable. So whatever I am entering here should be stored onto that variable. When when I am clicking on this set IP address button. So for that you can click on blocks, you can click on in the components, you can click on button set IP address. This is my component button for setting up the IP address. Click on that. In that you can drag and drop the first one. When button set IP address, that is a button name dot click. That means when you are clicking on this button in the designer or in the app, do this. So drag and drop it here. When I am clicking on this button, whatever value I am entering in the text box, that is the IP address that I am entering in the text box, should be stored onto this variable. So for that again you need to click on variables, then drag and drop the set variables to. Set variables to inside this. What variable? For selecting that variable, you can click on this, select global IP address. So set global IP address to something. That means whatever we are giving here, that value will be stored onto the variable known as global IP address. So what should I store into this variable known as IP address? I need to store the content of the text box. What is the text box name? Text box underscore IP address. Content of that text box, that is the actual IP address of the device, should be stored onto this IP address variable. So for that, click on this text box underscore IP address. In that you can select this text box underscore IP address dot text. So what does this block do? It will read the text which is present inside this text box. What is the text box name? Text box underscore IP address. Where was the text box kept? In the designer window. When you are clicking on designer window, you can see the text box. So whatever you are typing here will be read by using the function known as text box IP address dot text. So whatever you are typing there will be read by this block. So you can drag and drop it inside this set global IP address variable block, right? So what does it mean? Set global address global IP address variable to this. What does it mean? Whatever content is present inside the text box will be stored onto this variable known as IP address. So you are entering the text box, you are entering the IP address in the text box, that IP address will be stored onto this global variable. That is meant by this block. So that is for the set IP address button. So I have written the functionality for that button also. Next, what should I do? Again you can go back to designer window. Next I need to write a function for this on button and off button. On button, when I am clicking, I should send a particular command to the web page or through the web page or through a web. Similarly, when I am pressing on off button, you should set some other command through the web. That is what I am going to write. So again click on blocks. So when should it should happen? Whenever I am pressing on that button. Which button? Button on for time being. So click on that, then move to the first portion. So again drag and drop the same thing. When this particular button, that is button 1 dot click, drag and drop it here. When you are clicking on this button, what should happen? What should happen? It should, first of all, it should check whether the global IP address has been given or not, or is it empty or not. If it is like this, IP address is equal to some space or something, then device cannot be controlled. Device is accessed using an IP address. So you should first verify that whether that IP address is entered in the text box, right? That means you need to check a condition whether it is entered or not. For checking the condition, you can scroll up, can click on control, In that you can take if then else block, drag and drop it inside. Then if what condition, then what is the condition is if global variable is not equal to space. So for that you need to click on variables, then you can take this get block, drag and drop it here. What you need to get the value from the variable. How will you get that variable? Click on this, only one variable is there, IP address. So get the value global IP address. And what should I do with this value? I should check whether it is equal to space or not. So we cannot directly insert it to if, it should be checked for equality with a space or not. So you can keep it somewhere here. So for checking the equality, can take the next block, click on logic block, and then here you can see the logical block, drag and drop it here inside this. So if get global IP address, what does it do? IP address, whatever you have entered in the text box will be in the whatever it is stored on the variable will be read. It is checked whether it is not equal to, click on this, make it not equal to space or whatever you have entered. How will I take this thing again? You can right click on this, click on duplicate, right click on duplicate, keep it here. So if first of all the IP address value stored in that variable will be read by using this get function, that will be compared whether it is not equal to space. If it is not equal to space, that means some meaningful IP address has been entered there. So I will be able to switch on that particular device. So if this condition is true, then this then will be executed. What should be written inside then? I need to send a particular command through the web page as a URL. So the command is http:/IP address followed by /LED equal to on. This command should be on when you are pressing the on button through the URL present in the web viewer. So for that you can scroll down, click on web viewer. So web viewer blocks will be visible. Here you can select a block known as set webviewer1.home URL. You can see here set webviewer1.home URL to something, right? Drag and drop it here. So whatever command you need to give through the webviewer1 need to be given here. So I need to generate a command like http:/ followed by IP address followed by /LED equal to on. So http:/ will be one string, IP address will be another string, then /LED equal to on will be another string. So you need to join all these three strings together to form the command. So for that you can scroll up, click on text block, then again scroll up, drag and drop join. The join is used for joining two strings. So first string is http:/. So for entering http:/, first of all you can click on this a text string, right click on this block, click on duplicate, drag and drop it here, then click here and enter http:/. Check the direction of the slash, don't give the opposite slash. This slash only should be given, http:/. So this is one command. It should be concatenated or joined with the IP address of my NodeMCU that is stored in this IP address global variable, as well as another command known as /LED equal to on, because this is for LED on. So your actual command is /LED equal to on. So you need to join the IP address as well as the actual command /LED on. So for that you need to drag one more join block, because you are going to join http:// with two more string. One string will be the IP address stored in this variable, another string will be /LED equal to on. right? So how will you access the IP address stored in the variable? You can duplicate this, get global IP address, right click on this, click duplicate. So you are reading from the global address variable. That means it will be your actual IP address of the board which is stored in the variable. So http:// will be joined with this IP address, then along with another command that is /led equal to on. So for entering that, you can right click on this, click on duplicate, keep it here and type /led equal to on in complete capitals. So this is your actual command for switching on the LED. This command can be any custom command, but whatever command you are giving here, that should be given inside the Arduino or NodeMCU code. Whatever code you are expecting in the NodeMCU code for switching on the LED or a device, that same command should be given here, right? So if the global variable content is a meaningful IP address, then it will send this command through the web viewer. What is the command? http:// followed by IP address followed by /led on. And if this condition is not true, or if this condition is false, this else part will be executed. What does the else part? It should show a message as a notification. So for doing that, click on the notifier, then scroll down. You can drag and drop this, call notifier1.showAlert notice, drag and drop it here. So it will show an alert message when this condition is false. What alert message? That should be given here. So right click on this, add duplicate, click duplicate, then click here. What is the message? Enter meaningful IP address. So I am giving it as enter IP address, right? So if this variable is not having a meaningful IP address, it should display this message, so that I can go to the app, in the text box I can enter the correct IP address or enter IP address and press this button setup IP address. Then only that IP address stored in the text box will be stored onto the actual global variable, right? So I have written the function for button on. Similarly, I need to write the function for button off. So button off and button on, only one difference is there, that is in this command. For button off, the command will be /led equal to off. For button on, command will be /led equal to on, right? So for doing that, you can duplicate this whole block, because you are using the same function. Only thing is you need to change it here. So right click on this, click on duplicate. So the whole button on function will be duplicated, drag and drop it here. So now you can see that there is an undo mark here showing that both the functions are working on button on click. So one button should have only one click, or one component should have only one set of block, but here two sets are there. So my intention was this should work when I am pressing button off. So what should I do? Click on this and change it to button off. So now the undo marks has been gone and the errors has been also made as 0. So now when you are pressing the button off, the same thing will be happening, that is IP address will be read from the global variable. It will be checked whether it is not equal to space. That means meaningful address is, IP address is there. So what should it do? It should send this command as a URL through the web viewer. What is the command? http:// IP address followed by LED equal to off, because this command is used for LED off. And if this condition is false, again it will notify to user as enter IP address. That means we should enter the actual IP address there, then only enter the value. So this is how you are designing the app. So now once this app is designed, you need to go to the designer view. So this is the app layout. You can see this is the app layout and this is the blocks what you have designed. So now you need to build this app. So for building this app, in the top menu bar you can see there is a build button. You can click on that. Click on build, then Android APK. So when you are clicking on that, the app will be built and it will be ready for download to a desktop or to a phone. So now you can see one block or window came here showing download APK now. So if you are clicking on this, your app can be downloaded to a laptop, or if you are scanning this QR code in the QR code scanner, you can download it to a phone. You can select the QR code scanner and you can scan the QR code, then click on the link whatever you are getting there. So automatically it will go to the page where the app is getting downloaded. So it will ask, file may be harmful, do you want to download Wi-Fi device control app APK? So you should give yes, or you need to give download anyway. You can click on that because you know that it is my own app, it is not something else. Then click on open. When you are clicking on open, it will ask, do you want to install the app? You need to give install. So once it is installed, you will be getting like a message like this from the Google Play Protect, whether you need to scan the app or don't install the app. You need to click on more details. Then you will get install without scanning. So click on that, install without scanning. So the app will be installed, then you can give open. So this is the app what you have designed. Now you can enter the IP address of your NodeMCU that is shown in the serial monitor of the Arduino IDE. So I am entering it as 192.168.207.137. that is my IP address of the NodeMCU. So you should confirm one major important thing: your NodeMCU, your phone, both should be connected in same hotspot. Your NodeMCU as well as your mobile phone should be connected to the same hotspot. Then only you will be able to access the IP address, because this IP address is local to this hotspot network or to this subnet. So both the phone and the NodeMCU should be connected to the same hotspot. So I have entered it here. Then we need to press the set IP address button. So this IP address will be stored onto the global variable known as IP address that we have already shown. Then you can click on on button. When you are clicking on on, the command will be sent as URL through the web viewer. What is the command? http:// this IP address, that is 192.168.207.137, followed by /LED equal to on. That whole command will be sent through the web viewer, right? So in the web viewer you will be getting a feedback like this. If you are typing this whole command in the Chrome, you will be getting a feedback like this. LED in the web browser itself, in Chrome itself, LED is now on, and 2 buttons you will be getting. So the same thing you will be getting in the Chrome if you are typing the command in the Chrome. Similarly, when you are pressing the off button, it will change it as LED is now off, and the buttons also will be shown. So when you are pressing the on button, the LED on board on your NodeMCU will be on. When you are pressing off button, LED on board in the NodeMCU will be off. This is how Wi-Fi device control app is developed using MIT App Inventor and NodeMCU.